Hey everyone, welcome to the bar, and today we're talking My Hero Academia Vigilantes Chapter 74. Now, due to the whole YouTube not having enough people in office, I'm not going to be using my opening for the time being. It sucks, but the people over at Remix Maniacs are actually having a little bit of trouble with their music being claimed as well. So, for the time being, we're just going to jump right into things, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and let's get to it. So, the chapter this week focuses on the fallout of Popstep and Number 6's rampage. In the beginning of the chapter, we're given a recap of the events by television reporters. One of the reporters on scene is comparing the events of this to the Kaiju battle 3 years ago. I would guess that the Kaiju battle from 3 years ago is the Sky Egg debacle. From there, we're given first-hand accounts from the average citizen, with some being on the side of confusion and some absolutely just assuming that Pop was a villain just waiting to happen. We then go back to the anchor, and he states that the authorities have set precedent in this matter. The vigilante, the first-time offender known as Popstep, is being registered as a villain through the Villain Designation Registry, despite the registry only being for those of a certain age with repeated quirk-based crimes. The scene then splits to New York, with Makoto and Naomasa Tsukauchi in a heated argument. Makoto is essentially trying to play lawyer at this point for Popstep. She essentially says that putting up a minor's photo and plastering her as a villain is a clear human rights violation, when Naomasa quickly quips back that Pop is a wanted criminal for a large-scale quirk-based attack. And the fact that she's now labeled a villain means that she's not going to be charged as a minor. He has to treat this very seriously. It's his job. Now, a quick sidebar here as to why technically Popstep is being charged as an adult. 1, she could be turning 18 during or before her capture/court proceedings, and 2, sometimes minors get charged as an adult for more severity, as the crime usually fits the charge. I'm pretty sure here in the United States, the youngest person to be charged as an adult was a 13-year-old. People in law enforcement tend to do this so the severity of the crime doesn't get expunged, but also, it guarantees a sentence. Makoto does everything she can to try to find a hole in Naomasa's statements by saying that, oh, she's only a suspect now, huh? When Naomasa absolutely freaks out and lets her have it, saying that she has to cut it out with these armchair arguments. At this point, she's just arguing for the sake of it. And if she does anything stupid, she could be charged as an accomplice in this matter. And by stupid, he means this panel right here. She's packed up. She's ready to come back to Japan. And at this point, Makoto breaks down in tears because she helped Pop gain this notoriety that she has now. But Naomasa tries to comfort her and let her know that this is completely out of her control. She needs to pick and choose her battles. Her time will come when she is needed because the media is gonna spin this in whatever way that they want to. Makoto then asks Naomasa one question. Where's Koichi? If there's anyone who needs Koichi right now, it's Popstep. The chapter then spins off to all of the friends of the Vigilantes, the Naruhata girls, the X-Next levels, and the Hata bros, and they're all wondering where the Crawler is. And yes, they're butchering his name once again, they're calling him the Crawler. We start getting profile views of somebody who's wearing a Bluetooth earpiece walking the streets in Knuckleduster's garb. He's listening to the report as it says that 22-year-old Koichi Himawari is also missing in action, and investigators are believing that he's linked to the incident. The next page reveals who Koichi's savior was, and it's none other than the group of impromptu villains that Knuckleduster enlisted to save his daughter Tamao, with the leader Soga picking up the mantle of Knuckleduster. Soga enters this automotive shop that's doubling as a house, and inside is the rest of the crew with arresting Koichi. We see Koichi lying in bed, and as he comes to, you see him, he's battered and he's bruised, and they give him some porridge to eat because he's been out for a pretty long time. He begins to eat when he suddenly remembers everything that happens. He's like, the explosions! And when the boys turn on the TV for him, he becomes immediately fixated on it. We've never seen Koichi this way. It's like he broke. He doesn't even process the fact that the people that once tried to kill him saved him, and the one that absolutely tried to kill him to begin with is wearing Knuckleduster's gear. We see his eyes get blurry, and he just begins to melt down. He turns to the people and he goes, I gotta go to the police. I have to tell them about Popstep. I have to tell them about everything that's going on. Soga tries to calm him down and says, yeah, that's one option. It's cool if you want to do that, but first, Soga hands him a letter. He wants him to read this first. Koichi opens up the letter and realizes it's from Knuckleduster. He's addressing Koichi that he's probably caught up in something that he himself is to blame for, and Knuckleduster is sorry if his personal business came back to bite Koichi. But he asks him one simple question. Does he remember the words that Knuckleduster first said to him? Knuckleduster told him that he'd make him a true blue hero, but the thing was, he lied. And that's how the chapter ended, with Knuckleduster telling Koichi that he lied about him ever being a hero. That was a fucking ending. Jesus, that was a lot more than we expected. I mean, I know we did expect a lot of exposition from this chapter. Granted that last week's or 2 weeks ago's chapter was a lot of action, but man, that was just heavy all around. Seeing Pop's mom, seeing Makoto, and the fact that Makoto is coming back to Japan, like I said in prior videos, now Masa is gonna be conducting an investigation into these people. And for all we know, it's a matter of time before Koichi gets designated as a villain as well. When you get that designation, you're screwed unless somebody can figure out how to clear your name. And that's exactly what this gang of vigilantes is gonna do for Popstep. They don't trust in the law. They take the law into their own hands. That is what the essence is of being a vigilante. But seeing everybody in disbelief was hard. This is unlike any situation in My Hero Academia. Imagine Deku having to clear the name of Ochako if someone like Toga committed crimes using her quirk and her face because of how much Toga's quirk is evolved. Additionally, Pop's mom not knowing much about her daughter and finding out everything all at once was remarkably sad. All of this came toppling down on her, and finding out that her daughter was an idol that's admonished by the entire community, to 5 seconds later, she finds out that her missing daughter is now a terrorist. It's a lot for a parent to process. As for the person that saved Koichi, the fact that Soga out of all people saved him was absolutely amazing. It showed that Knuckleduster was capable of redeeming some people. And after all the shit that Soga went through after saving Tamao, I mean, come on, it's good that we get some redemption for some of these people. Knuckleduster is out here trying to show everybody that you don't need a license to save anyone. You don't need a reason. And seeing Soga decked out in Knuckleduster attire was pretty cool. And I'm pretty psyched that we haven't seen the last of the person who's a straight up homage to Wolverine. If you didn't know, Soga has the ability to generate spikes from his hands similar to Wolverine. If you want to see more of these guys, click the card above. These guys are actually pretty big parts at the beginning of Vigilantes during the Stendhal arc. But anyway, the main thing that I want to talk about is Knuckleduster's letter. First of all, it's a pretty long letter that hopefully we get to see more of in a few weeks. Do I think that him saying he lied was a little bit of a mislead? Absolutely. The letter probably says along the lines of, Koichi, you were always a hero. You don't need me to tell you that. And it's true. Koichi has saved Popstep, he's helped Naruhata way before Knuckleduster has even gotten involved, and during the Sky Egg incident, he saved Captain Celebrity, saved thousands of people in a situation that All Might had to arrive and help out with, not Knuckleduster. If anything, Knuckleduster was kind of responsible for the bomber villains even getting out. But now, it's time for the Crawler's final act. He has to put on those Knuckledusters and do what's right to save his friend. Granted, the story might not be so close to its ending as we thought. We're probably in for a few more months of Vigilantes, and I'm pretty psyched to see if now Masa and Koichi team up to a degree. The Crawler's being investigated, so he's not really a suspect at this point. But it would be pretty cool if he kind of appears to Naomasa in a similar way that Batman appears to Commissioner Gordon. And if it does come down to an actual court proceeding, and we get to see what the court proceedings are like in My Hero Academia, Makoto's quirk is definitely going to come in handy clearing Popstep's name. But when it boils down to the fat, and when we get down to the nitty-gritty, it's going to come down to Koichi facing off against number 6. The Crawler's going to have to get back out there, and we'll see that happen. And hopefully Knuckleduster comes back for the finale. But I definitely want to see more of Soga Duster in the meantime. That reveal was pretty cool, but at the same time it was kind of underwhelming. I know a lot of us were kind of hoping for Knuckleduster to come back. A lot of us were hoping that number 6 was going to be that dude too. Imagine if he grabbed Koichi by the sweatshirt and kind of told him off and was like, you have to meet me here to finish off this final battle that we're going to have. But, you know, I guess some people would say that it could be kind of dragging this out, but at the same time, it's going to be kind of weird to see how they're going to go from here. But either way, that's it for this week's video. I'll catch y'all next week for my video featuring the Teen Titans meeting the students and maybe the villains of My Hero Academia. And this is Dan, signing off. I'm sorry my chest is kind of verklempt. Peace.